Because then we understand what are the traits that Allah must give her in order to carry out this particular job of Khalifa. Because there are two types, obviously, right? So this particular role of Khalifa, she must have certain qualities. Right? And so we call them in English, we call them women's intuition. Right? Or certain spirituality. Or there's a certain connection with Allah, a certain spiritual connection that women naturally have. Right? So then you may ask the question, but wait a minute, Sister Ieasha. You know, when it comes to, when we look at it historically, there were no women prophets. Right? And women cannot be imam. Right? So we may begin to ask that question, how come women can't be prophets then? Well, let's look at it. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one of the first things is that He's adab, that He's just. Right? And in giving the woman such a role that every human being, whether male or female, will come through her. That every male or female and every prophet will come through her and possibly be nursed from her. Right? From her body. So the job of the prophets is to have a connection is to connect the creation to the creator. But the womb of the woman is already connected to the arsh of Allah. In addition to whether we say the anbiya, the prophet, or the imam, what we're looking at is that the job of the anbiya and the job of the imam is to carry the soul of his community. The woman already knows what it's like to carry multiple souls inside her body at one time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He created her rahim, He gave her the tools and the wisdom and the insight and the intellect and everything she needed in order to fulfill that purpose. Right? Because that was her job. So He said, we have to be fair. Right? You have something that he can't do no matter what he does. No matter what he does, he doesn't have this job. But because we in society have begun to honor basically money, right? We've looked at money as a certain power. Then more and more, as capitalism and money has become more important in our eyes, then the role of women has become less and less and less. The role of motherhood has become less and less beneficial. We stop looking at it in the great role that it is. Right? So the point that little girls start to say, I don't want no kids. Right? You hear that early. Like, I don't want to do that. Right? Because they don't look at that and see that that's a role that is honored. They don't begin to see the importance of that. Right? SubhanAllah. And by the way, you don't necessarily have to be a woman. Have to be a mother in order to have this particular wisdom. Right? Because this is in Ar-Rahim. It's literally the woman is the womb of man. Right? So the fact that she has that and what that does is still gives her all of those qualities. Right? Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barik alayhi. Assalamu alaikum. So I want to then get in. So once we begin to understand the nature in which that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created her and why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created her, then we can begin to look at, well, how does this, we see it from Quran, right? That Allah tells us that to fear your Lord from whom you demand your mutual rights. Then after that He says, and respect the wombs that bore you. Right? SubhanAllah. This is actually quite amazing. Because 50,000 years before the heavens and the earth were created, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already saw every prayer you're going to make, every deed you're going to commit, everything you're going to say. He saw and He heard it already. So I already know the mistakes you're going to make. So therefore, I'm going to send you a message of guidance that you will need to the end of time. That forever you will need to be reminded that you need to fear and that are connected to the fear of Allah. Inside the same verse, not another verse. Inside the same verse, which is extremely significant. Right? Inside the same verse, Allah is telling you fear Allah. He's telling you reverence the wombs that bore you. Right? So even this reverence of the womb, and later on we start to see translations, right? I don't know why, but later on we start to see translations that said, keep the ties of kinship. Right? How you going to get ties of kinship? You need a womb. Right? You need a womb. How you going to get a womb? You need the womb of man. You need a womb. That inside of respecting the woman is taqiyya, is fear of Allah, reverence of Allah, awe of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you disrespect the woman, ultimately, you have lessened yourself in taqwa. You have lessened that. So then we begin to see, what did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what was the implementation of that? Okay, that's what Allah, that's the standard Allah set, right? So then what's the implementation of that? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us, he said that Allah has caused me to love 3 things from this dunya. Check them out, right? He said, I love prayer, I love good scent, and I love prayer. Now, Orientalists will try to take this into some other direction. But the way they try to take it doesn't match the first thing he said. Right? The first thing he said is, I love prayer. I love to run to Allah. I love to commune with my Lord. I love to talk to Allah. I love to recite Quran. Someone who loves prayer, because a lot of Muslims don't love prayer. They're doing it because it's their obligation, because it's hard upon them, right? And they're barely meeting the 5. But whether or not you love it is different. Right? So he said, I love prayer, and I love good smell. They said, Ya Rasulullah, why do you love good smells? Because it brings the angels. Right? It brings the angels. Then he says, I love women. You got women who don't love women. Right? You got women who say, I don't even fool with them. They so emotional. I don't even deal with them. Right? Seriously. I stay with Big Caddy. We have a whole list. Right? We have been brainwashed. We're talking about, I'm on Quran and Sunnah. Right? I'm on the Sunnah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not just I like them. Right? And this is, so later on he's asked, Ya Rasulullah, why do you love women? He said, because of their mercy. Right? Because of their mercy. So this Rahim, connected to Ar-Rahman, connected to Ar-Rahim, is connected to Ar-Rahim. Right? Allah, Allah, Allah. So if the Prophet ﷺ, he loves women, I want you to begin to think about this, especially for him to say that in the time when in society where women are loved. And we're not far from that. We're not far from that at all. Not by a long shot. We're not far from that. Where they used to bury women alive physically, we bury women alive mentally. Right? Before a girl, by the time she's 11, 12 years old in school, she's walking hunched over, trying to make herself smaller. Right? Afraid to stand in her greatness and her power. Just in all honesty. Right? Subhanallah, subhanallah. So then, when we begin to look at how the Prophet ﷺ, how he loved women, and it's very interesting because many times when we begin to look at polygyny, what's your book on which one?
Footsteps or His Other Wife.
Footsteps or His Other Wife, right? When we talk about polygyny, we start to get nervous, right? We start to be like, oh snap, they got to bring that out, right? But believe it or not, Islam is not the religion of polygyny, right? Islam is the religion that put rules and regulations on polygyny, right? And so we're so busy looking at our own condition as women, right, that we're not looking at Allah is telling the man, surround yourself with these people. Right? Not because you're great, but because you need her greatness surrounded by you. You need to be like this. She on all 4 corners. She got you from the right, from the north, from the south, from the east, and the west. Now I'm not a promoter of polygyny. If my husband came to me, you'll see you be the one calling me because I be crying. Okay? I'll be on the floor. So let's not get it. I'm not trying to represent something I'm not. Okay? I'm just trying to talk about the wisdom in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the hikmah in it. Right? You be calling, what happened to Sister Ieasha? Okay, trying to figure out how she gonna work it out. So I just say this to say that we have to begin to look at, even when the Prophet ﷺ, in his most difficult moments, in his most trying moments, who did he run to?
Khadija and Ieasha.
He went to Khadija. He went to Ieasha. And when even there are moments that when he went to them, these changed the course of history. Right? So the first moment he gets revelation from Allah, he doesn't run to Abu Bakr's house. Right? He could have run to Abu Bakr. That was his best friend at that time. He didn't go to Abu Bakr. He went to Khadija. Right? Which says a lot about her. It says a lot about her. Right? Because he didn't even know what to do. It says in the hadith, he is hiding under her scarf. He's like, I don't know what to do. She starts to listen. Look at her wisdom and calming him down. You're good to your kid. You're good to your neighbor. Allah would never disgrace you. She's keeping calm. So we, even as women, we have to begin to learn these qualities of wisdom. She knows this is not the time, right? This is not the time to fuss. This is not the time to bring out any marital problems. Because you was up there by yourself and everything. No wonder you hosting. Right? No. Right? This is where the wisdom comes out. She recognizes this is not the time for that. Right? This is the moment to be calm and to be entrusted everything. So she says, even she knows at that moment, I don't have the full knowledge of what to do in this moment. But I know somebody who does. Right? And she took him to her cousin, as we know the story. So there are so many rulings inside of this. There is so much hikmah inside of this story. We could be here for the next month just discussing that moment. Right? The fact that even the relationship between husband and wife, the relation as it just relates to wisdom of the woman, as it relates to the fact that the Christians who know the truth and the relationship between Muslims, we could be here all night just on that. Right? So then we look at another moment, another very key moment, where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's making the Hajj, he's making the first Hajj, and he goes to basically he tells the believers, cut your hair, right, shave off your head, and nobody did it. They were all looking at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam like, shave our head. I've been working hard on this. I've been oiling them and brushing them. Y'all been working on this wave pattern for a minute, right? And so he's actually upset, and he goes into his tent and he goes to Salama and he complains. Why did he go to Abu Bakr? At that time, Abu Bakr has the ability that Abu Bakr definitely has influence of the other believers. Why did he go to Umar and make him strong arm him? Umar, tell him what's up, right? No, he didn't do that. He goes to Salama and he's like, Salama, this is what happened. I told him to do this and they didn't do it. And she said, listen, this is one of them other more things. Now I want you to understand, this is the messenger of Allah. This is the messenger of Allah asking for the wisdom of a woman inside of an act that's hard. Hajj. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. We're not talking about, babe, we're going to have for dinner tonight. Right? We're not talking about, babe, which color should I wear? Does this black though work, or you think the white one for this occasion? No, he's asking her about something that would change how we perform Hajj forever. Right? And so she tells him, you go out, you shave your head first. Let everyone see you do it. And then calm, wise, right? Recognizing, she understands, how does she know this? How does she know that if he does it first, they're going to follow? She raised these people. She know how they act. She been with them. She know their mind from the beginning. Right? She know how they think. She understands them. From the time they were small till they get older. They came through her. When they were tired, they came back. They laid on her lap. Right? When they went away, got hurt by the world, they came back, put their head on her shoulder. Right? When they got big and became grown, when they got work and got tired from the world, where did they come back to her womb? And you understand what I'm saying. Right? So this is another course in time that changes history because of the wisdom of the woman. And then we could go on, of course, with Ieasha radiallahu ta'ala anha. Right? Just in her behavior. Right? There are multiple tools of things that come from Ieasha. The fact that we can make the fact that revelation is revealed in the case of Ieasha radiallahu ta'ala anha. Then again, we have, when we look at history, right? Some of our greatest Islamic rulers, what you said? Some of our greatest Islamic rulers were women, right? Queen Awa of Yemen, who they call as Sulayhiya, who my daughter Sulayha is named after, right? She is known that Yemen was in a state of chaos. It was in a state of disruption. She came in and she ruled for a long time, right? When she became queen at the age of 17, she introduced education and proper schools and hospitals and roads and public service and inside of Yemen. One of the longest reigning queens in Yemen, right? Many universities and people honor her all the time. Then we have the case in West Africa of Nana Asmu, right? How she implemented all of her father's teachings of Sheikh Uthman Dan Fodio, right? And became one of the greatest women of Islamic history today. Right? In terms of not only how she